Well, hello there and welcome to Aussium International Airlines for 2019. I hope you enjoyed our starts, our new start, the tops and tails, and we've also got another little graphic that's coming along very shortly as well to go with that. However, today's flight is from Wellington in New Zealand down to Queenstown, so we're going to kick off with a fairly complicated flight, but yeah, so it's been an awesome couple of months. We've had some fabulous flights in the sim, and this is about my 5th flight actually, it's not the first. We actually did a couple of flights there very early in January, and unfortunately I put them on my hard drive and had a big clean out and they went, so this is why we're back to almost February now before we put our first flight on the web. So anyway, without further ado, I'm going to get started. We'll get everything running and then we'll come back when we're ready for pushback. So we're also using the Lavalier mic system now, so hopefully that'll give me more clear diction and you'll be able to understand me without any problems like we had from last year. So alright, I'm going to get on with it and get things happening here. So as I said, I will come back soon as we get things operational. Okay people, well we're ready to push at the moment. Everything is good to go. Get this air off and request a push to the left and release the park brakes and we're off. So we're going to start engine 1 today. It's wrong direction. Alright, we have N2 on the rise. It's an early morning in New Zealand. 25% feeding the fuel. Yeah, it's about 8 o'clock in the morning, sorry. So that's looking good. Got a bird up there waiting to go as well. Alright, that's a good start on 1. Let's go over to 2. And that'll do us for our push. And there's 25%, give it the fuel. Picked a great time in the morning again with as far as traffic goes, so that's a good start on 2. We'll go through and do our flow now. That's all correct. Okay, so before taxi checklist, electrical is set, probe heat's on, anti-ice not required, start switches are over to continuous, flight controls we haven't checked yet, start levers are in the idle position and 5 degrees of flap. So let's just check our flight controls before we leave. Right, so we have full deflection forward, full deflection right, full deflection, and left, full deflection. and speed brakes are fully operational and elevator spot on. So we are good to go. Let's get out of here. So looks like the Jetstar bird is lining up, and then there's another, looks like a Q400 before him, and then there's us, so we're third in the queue. Little A320. So apparently this month, or sorry, next month, February, we're supposed to have Flightbeam's new Wellington come out, so that's good, something to look forward to. And then we've got Christchurch coming again from Godzo, not coming again, but coming, because it was supposed to come out last year, but it's now coming out in February, I believe. And we have some exciting news from Orbix. They've got England, North England, I think it is, coming out for P3D for oh, I can't remember the name of it now. True Earth, that's it. True Earth, North England. So as soon as this little Q400's gone, we're lining up.
Approaching 3, 4. On runway 3, 4, 6,600 feet remaining.
Unfortunately, we're going to have to give him a little bit of space because he's on our trajectory at the moment. Oh, I think he's turning off now. Okay, we're good to go. So, takeoff thrust and stable toga.
Caution, short runway, short runway.
Okay, speed tape's alive. We've got 80 knots, cross check. We have V1 rotate. Now we're going to fly the flight directed to this morning. Sorry, positive rate, gear up. And flaps at 2. Getting good with the flight director now, just following it. Bit of an acquired skill. Okay, flaps 1. Okay, let's go over to autopilot. Maybe not. Flaps up, by the way. Right, gear off, anti-skid off, lights off. So it looks pretty nice out there this morning so far. Now we're just about to do a very sharp bank here, left port bank. So we're going to be heading back over to the South Island. And there it is, the South Island and all the little islands off the tip. The beautiful Marlborough region on the left hand side here. And we can see the wind farm over on the left, just outside of Wellington on the hill. And we can see where we took off from just 5 minutes ago. The airport over there. And of course Wellington itself and the bay. So let's do a climb checklist now. Pressurisation, yep, it's looking good. Start switches are over to flight, APU is off, and flaps are up with no lights. Climb checklist complete, Captain. There's our 10,000, so we can go over to standard now. Been approximately 5 minutes in the air already. Geez, the mountains look beautiful down there. We're actually in the winter season at the moment, not flying real time. So I wanted to see some snow caps and stuff like that. So we're going to have them today when we get down closer to Queenstown, that's for sure. Now our top of climb today is 34,000 feet. So not much to see at this stage, so I'll turn the videos off and we'll come back a little bit closer to maybe our top of descent or around the mountain area where we're coming into Queenstown. Well, it's been a great flight so far. We've had no issues. The scenery's looking fabulous at the moment. We've got this marvellous haze out the front here and beautiful snow-capped mountains on the right, so everything's doing its thing. We are not all that far away, probably 100 mile from our destination in Queenstown, so we are about 5 miles away from top of descent. So we'll go through and do a descent checklist. Altimeters and bugs, let's just check them. We've got 17,000 set there. Got no VREF and target. Let's do that now. VREF and target will be 40 at 135. Full brakes. And set our speed brake, turn our lights on, and tell the girls we are entering descent. Now we can get a really nice look at the mountains from here, that beautiful haze that's hanging over Queenstown. Right, going on for our descent. Our packs are set, start switches are back over to continuous, and our recall, flight controls on the recall, but we know what that is, that's an issue. Okay, so looking good at the moment. We will hit upnicks at 30,000 and then El Rouve at 17. Now we did this flight the other day and we used this particular route and it was really good. We came down through the mountain and into the valley. The only thing was when we got a little bit close to the airport, unfortunately the sim lost the plot and we missed out on the auto flight, so I had to end up manually landing the aircraft, so that wasn't too bad. But I've still got my issues with Queenstown. It's a extremely difficult airport to master, and I'll be the first to put my hand up and say that I certainly have not mastered it yet. I get about 1 in 5 landings there. So we're looking good at the moment. We're about 45 minutes into the flight so far. I'll just go through and do a flow check, make sure all the switches are correct. Yep, everything looks pretty good to me. It's a pretty busy area around here. There's a lot of traffic in the air, so we've got to keep an eye out for what's going on. Especially during our descent phase. Right, we'll plonk in 15,000 for our Pampu. I'm going to go over to vertical situation display, which gives us a beautiful view of where we are in relation to our descent. And at the moment we're looking pretty good. The one thing I do know about Queenstown, and I've learned it over and over and over again, is that you need A, to get your height down to get yourself on the deck, and B, probably more importantly, is your speed right down, so you can select some flaps and get flaps happening at the right appropriate time. Speaking of which, we'll go through and do a few fixes at the moment. So NZQN, and we want a, what will be 34,000, so a 100-mile fix, a 50-mile fix, and a 23-mile fix. So the 100 was where we should have entered descent, which we did. 50 should be about halfway down, so we should be around about the 15,000 mark there, which is just about spot on. And 23 is where we take our first degree of flaps, or that we would like to. Okay, we're coming up on El Rouge. We should be at 17,000. We're actually 21. But we've still got another 16 miles to run yet. Never get sick of flying this route, it's fabulous. So the haze is cleared up. We don't have that issue. I thought we were going to enter the mountains here with haze and fog, which would have made it a little bit treacherous. We're bang on our profile at the moment, so that's good. Beautiful snowy mountains down there. So we can see the valley that we're heading for over there now. And we're about 18,000, so we're going to be spot on for our 17,000 at El Rouge. So I'm going to punch in our 10,000, which is our height for Equinox. So there we are, we were spot on 17,000 at El Rouge. And now we're looking for 15,000 at Pampu. And then 10,000 at Equinox. we go, and now we're headed to Ekvox. And we're coming up on Ekvox at 10,000. At Kill is 10,000 as well, and the next one after that is Atvup at 6,000. So we'll plug our 6,000 in. Going to do our 10,000 in a minute. You can see the water on the other side of the valley there now. Okay, that's our 10,000. Go over to HBA again. Alright, I'm going to put this away. We don't need this anymore. Speed is dropped down to 240 knots now. Here we go, over the top of the mountain. We'll do a left-hand bank here very shortly. So I'm going to add a little bit of speed brake to keep the speed down as we decelerate and drop a bit of height. So Atvup is 6,800. Yep. flaps, gear down. See if we can get it on the glide slope here. Above the glide slope.
1,000.
Here we go. Right on the glide slope.
Approaching 2, 3.
Reverses up. Manual braking. Well, that was not my best landing here, but it was halfway decent. There we go, people, that's our first flight of the year. Hope you enjoyed it. Some of the beautiful scenery in New Zealand. And we'll be back for our next one very shortly. So until then, take care. See you all back next time.